And
Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. We're just going to give folks a moment to clear the waiting room. And as a reminder, when you are entering from the waiting room, please do remain on mute unless or until you are speaking before the board. Good morning. This is a hearing before the licensing board for the city of Boston. Today is Wednesday, February 28th, 2024. Today's hearing is being held pursuant to temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. Today's hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the city of Boston's website. Before I review procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman of the Board, Kathleen Joyce.
good morning, my name is Kathleen Joyce. Excuse me, I'm Chair of the Boston Licensing Board, and today I am joined by Commissioners Liam Curran and Commissioner Kiana Saxon.
Thank you. Please ensure that your audio and visuals are working properly when you are presenting before the board. I will call each item in the order that it appears on this morning's agenda. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the applicant. You'll make a brief presentation regarding your proposal, followed by questions by the chair and commissioners. Following questions, there will be an opportunity for testimony, beginning with elected officials or their representatives. Please limit your testimony to 2 minutes, and please state your name, address, and affiliation, if any. Begin with the first item on this morning's agenda, calling item number 1, TZ Newbury LLC, doing business as TZ Tea Shop Newbury and Beard Papa Newbury, located at 232 Newbury Street. Has applied for a common victular license to be exercised on the above, a bubble tea shop and cream puff bakery store with takeout on basement floor. Approximately 800 square foot food preparation area, 200 square foot kitchen and storage in the rear, 750 square foot seating area, bathroom in the middle of the premise. Manager Peng Jia, hours of operation 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
I am Christine.
Great, thank you, Christine. If you could please identify yourself and then briefly present the proposal to the board.
Yes, my name is Christine. I'm the partner of the business, and I represent TZ Tea Shop and Beer Pop-Up Pastry today.
Thank you. Could you please briefly present the concept and what the proposal is to the board?
Yes, so what we're doing is a typical boba tea store, as well as a cream puff like pastry. So it's not even like a full business, like a food and beverage, not a full restaurant. It's just a pastry and boba tea. So we don't have a hood, we don't have anything, but just sweets.
Thank you. How many seats do you plan on having in this 800 square foot? I'm sorry, in this 750 square foot space?
So we have like a seat wise, we have 8 seats, but it's like what is that called, like a blister, like a like a stage, the platform seating, so people can fit a little bit more, but I like the typical individual seats. We have like 8.
Okay, 8 seats. Are there tables too, or just seats?
They're not tables, they're like a platform seating, so they have a little side table when you have classes, you have like a little side table to put your cups and like
Okay.
top.
Okay, I have no other questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
Thank you.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office like to defer to the judgment of this board. ONS instructed the applicant to reach out to the Neighborhood Association of Back Bay. We're unaware of any concerns at this time regarding this proposal. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 2, P&H Boss JJ LLC, doing business as Jimmy John's, located at 1 Harborside Drive in East Boston. Has applied for a common victular license to be exercised on the above, an 849 square foot quick service restaurant with counter service only, located in Terminal A Satellite, space AS2 to A01, common area food court with available tables for traveling public. Rear access of the building for authorized personnel only, several public restrooms available on the terminal. Manager Robert Lapointe, hours of operation 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Who's present on behalf of the applicant?
Good morning, I'm Rosalind Mallett. I am the owner and CEO of Phase Next Hospitality, which is the franchisee for Jimmy John's.
Great, thank you, Ms. Mallett. If you could please just briefly present the proposed concept to the board.
This Jimmy John's on a satellite in Boston Logan Airport. Went under construction in late September of 2023. The previous tenant was also a sandwich shop. They closed in February of 2020 prior to the COVID closures. We are requesting the license to operate a shop that does not have any assigned seating. It is a food court operation. The airport is responsible for the cleaning and maintenance of that section of the terminal.
All right, thank you. Do you have more? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that was it. I didn't mean it to interrupt you.
I'm just going to state that this is a sandwich shop, so there are no, there's no hoods, no griddles, simply a line for assembly of sandwiches and a front counter for service.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for joining us today and for your explanation, Commissioner Curran, Commissioner Saxon. Do you have any questions? I don't.
I do not, thank you.
None for me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 3, Pitcher's Mound LLC, doing business as Diamond at Fenway, located at 72 Brookline Ave. Holder of a common victual or 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to amend the following 2 conditions on the above license, and reading only the portions that will be affected by the proposed changes. From condition number 2, in-seat service of food and alcoholic beverages, including suites and 2 club-level seating areas of Fenway Park, as follows: the EMC Club and the Home Pavilion Club, as shown on the plans filed herewith. Liquor and grandstands to be served in 14 concession stands. Revised language will be in-seat service of food and alcoholic beverage, including suites and 2 club-level seating areas of Fenway Park, as follows: the EMC Club and the Home Pavilion Club, as shown on the plans filed herewith. Liquor and grandstands to be served in 18 concession stands. And condition number 5, language to be changed. Beer will be served in cups or lightweight aluminum or plastic bottles or aluminum cans no larger than 16 ounces. Smaller 12-ounce servings in similar containers will also be available. Proposal is to change that conditioned language to beer will be served in cups or lightweight aluminum or plastic bottles or aluminum cans no larger than 25 ounces. Smaller 12-ounce servings in similar containers will also be available. Attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Good morning, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the commission. Thanks for having us this morning. With me is David Friedman and Claire Durant from the Red Sox legal staff. I think we have Derek Schwartz from Aramark and Colm Lydon, who's the Director of Security for Fenway Park. And thank you for your truncated reading of the description of premises. That description, just so that you're well aware, goes back many years when we were required to add every item that was going on inside the ballpark. Today, I think if we were here, it would simply say in hall of said ballpark or such language. But in any event, you hit the nail on the head. Only 2 changes. That is to increase the number of full alcohol beverage pouring stands from 14 to 18. That is a net increase of 4. And to increase the size of serving from 16 to 25. And just by way of explanation, if you have attended concerts or games or what have you at Foxborough, Gillette Stadium, at the Pavilion, Great Woods, places like that, you know that the service today includes many of these larger pouring ability. So this is kind of standard in the industry these days, and wanted to make sure we made the request before the board, before the season, obviously, and have made outreach. The Red Sox do a great job of staying in touch with the community organizations around the ballpark, which they've done on these topics, in addition to reaching out to the district city councilor and the various neighborhood organizations. So we're unaware of any concerns that folks have, and we think this will just allow for a better service to the public and not cause any inconvenience. So we're happy to take any of your questions here this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just want to make sure, and I want to thank your entire team for working with us on this. It seemed like a no-brainer from our perspective. The 4 additional spaces, are you intending for those to be flex spaces that you can determine where they are?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't
Yes,
see that in the description, so I just want to make sure, and it could just be that it's so dense, but I'm highlighting. If that's the case, I want to make sure we have the right language.
Perhaps we, if the board would accept, an amendment to just suggest that those would be flexible positions.
Okay, that's fine.
That was our understanding, but clearly we'd like to make certain that it's clear to the board and the public.
No, that's fine. I don't even see the 4 additional spaces in here when I went and added them up. So we want to make sure we get the amendment in properly. I know I've talked to your team about this before. I actually don't have any questions at this point. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Me either, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information on the community process. The applicant held a community meeting on February 13th, has been in constant contact with the local civic association as well as other stakeholders in the Fenway neighborhood. Our office is unaware of any concerns at this time related to this specific proposal. Thank you.
Thanks, Connor.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this matter under advisement, and we will clarify the 4 additional spaces are to be these flex type spaces.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Calling item number 4, High Street TRS LLC, doing business as High Street Place, located at 100 High Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned for the approval of another management agreement between High Street TRS LLC, doing business as High Street Place, and Noble Castella LLC. Attorney Adam Barnowski. Attorney Barnowski.
Thank you, Attorney Green. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Adam Barnowski, 255 State Street, Boston. Can you hear me okay?
I'm not sure if it's just me. You sound very muffled and far away.
Is that better? Can you hear me better now?
Much better.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. Adam Barnowski, 255 State Street in Boston, here on behalf of High Street TRS LLC, doing business as High Street Place. Also in attendance is Aldo Casage, the owner and operator of Noble Castella LLC. We are here regarding a new management agreement for the food hall. As the board will recall, High Street Place operates a food hall at 100 High Street with 24 designated vendor spaces. It currently has 13 management agreements with vendors, which were previously approved by this board in the ABCC. Noble Castella will be the newest addition to the food hall and will operate in the space designated under the license agreement shown as Exhibit A in the application materials. The management agreement terms and provisions are in the same form and substance as the prior agreements that were approved by this board. With the exception of this new vendor, there will be no other changes to the operation of the food hall or specifications under the license. Aldo Casage is the sole owner and operator of the management entity and will oversee all daily operations of the vendor and the sale and service of alcoholic beverages. He is available to answer any questions regarding his concept and proposed operations, and I'm happy to answer any other questions the board may have. Thank you.
Thank you, attorney. Thanks for joining us today and for that explanation of your application. I don't have any questions at this time. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
I do not.
No questions from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Calling item number 5, Stephen T. DeAngelis Inc., doing business as Golden Goose Market, located at 179 Commercial Street. Holder of a retail package store, all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to change the corporate name of the licensed business from Stephen T. DeAngelis Inc. to Golden Goose Markets Inc. And secondly, has petitioned for a change of stock interest. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
I am Stephen DeAngelis, and the new stockholder, Jesse Powers, are here. And if I may just state that the change in the corporate name does not change any filing numbers or anything. We maintained our 4004 number. All of everything's the same. This young man has worked with me for 18 years. I'm 75, he's 33, and he will be the guy going forward.
Thank you very much. So just to make sure I get it on the record, there'll be no operational changes here. It's just a change of the corporate name and stock interest. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you both for joining us. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
I have no questions. Thank you.
No questions from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this matter under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
And you. Calling item number 6, Pleasant Inc., doing business as Pleasant Cafe, located at 4511 to 4519 Washington Street in Roslindale. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned for a change of officers directors. Secondly, has petitioned for a change of ownership interest, and lastly, has petitioned for a change of stock interest. Attorney Patricia Malone. Attorney Malone.
Yes, Trish Malone representing Pleasant Inc., doing business as Pleasant. With me today, I have Mr. John Morgan and his mother, Joan. For those unfamiliar with the premises has operated in Rosendale for over 45 years. It's a family-run restaurant. What I'm trying to do here is make all information current here. And back in 2017, this license that you have on file now was held 50% by Mr. Morgan, 50% by Mr. Lynch. In 2017, Mr. Lynch unfortunately passed away, leaving his shares to both of his sisters. Unfortunately, one of his sisters also passed away during that period, leaving everything to his sole beneficiary, which was his second sister, Margaret Edict. In 2023, she decided that she wanted to get rid of all the shares of stock of the Pleasant Cafe, and therefore entered an agreement, a stock agreement, whereby the Morgans purchased all of the stock that their brother had previously held. That kind of had a snowball effect, whereby with the change of stock came the change of corporate offices, so that Mr. Morgan and his mother then became the directors and had various positions within the corporation. Therefore, the controlling interest right now is 100% of the Morgan family. The Morgan family will own the Pleasant Inc. It is currently operating and will probably operate for another 45 years the way it is. Completely family run. One of the family members is always on the licensed premises. So we're asking for your approval for this petition.
Thank you very much, Attorney Malone. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Morgan, for joining us and for that explanation. It's nice to see this continue in the family. I actually have no questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you?
I do not. Thank you.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice afternoon. Thank you.
And you. Calling item number 7, Broken Records Beer Hall LLC, doing business as Broken Records Beer Hall, located at 81 to 85 Guest Street in Brighton. Holder of a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license, has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed premise from in one large room on ground floor with bar and dining, seating capacity of 140, and game areas, restrooms, kitchen, storage, and office in rear, 6,000 square feet total. 2, in one large room on ground floor with bar and dining, seating with seating capacity of 140, and game areas, restrooms, kitchen, storage, and office in rear, 6,000 square foot total, together with a seasonal April to November outdoor patio on public property, subject to agreement with the Public Improvement Commission with a 10 p.m. closing hour and 16 seats. Attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Good morning again, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board. Good morning again. I am here to represent the applicant. With me is Keith Craig. This is a licensee on the New Balance campus in the Brighton neighborhood. The only change being requested this morning is the addition of the outdoor seating for 16 patrons, 16 seats with a 10 p.m. closing hour. This was a matter that had to go first through the Public Improvement Commission, which we have finally completed, and we are here before you to ask permission for this outdoor use to be added to the license. And we're certainly happy to answer any questions. And this was vetted in the community and with ONS, and there were no concerns that people had.
Okay, thank you. Just for our own metrics, had this location participated in our temporary outdoor dining program?
I do not think so, Madam
Okay.
Chair. I think this was something that
It did not.
came about after the licensee. Keith, can you
Okay.
answer that?
Yeah, it did not.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. We're just collecting data. Thank you. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
I have no questions. Thank you.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office like to defer to the judgment of this board. The applicant met with the Brighton Austin Improvement Association, which was supportive of this proposal. With that, we'll defer to the board, and we're unaware of any concerns at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item 8, M Cook Inc. doing business as the Boston Sail Loft located at 80 Atlantic Ave. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed business from 2 emergency exits leading to alleyway in 1 room, kitchen and exterior deck on the 1st floor, closet area for stock, to 2 emergency exits leading to alleyway in 1 room, kitchen and exterior deck on the 1st floor, closet area for stock, seasonal outdoor patio, April 1st to October 31st, on public property of approximately 200 square feet, with seating for 18 with a closing hour of 9:30 p.m. Sunday to Thursday and 10:30 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Attorney Tom Miller. Attorney Miller.
Thank you, Secretary Green. Good morning, Chairwoman Joyce, Commissioners. Tom Miller from McDermott, Quilty, Miller and Hanley in Boston on behalf of the licensee, the Boston Sail Loft. In this application is to make permanent a patio that has been operating without incident for 4 years under the COVID protocols. To answer that question, Chairwoman, the space is immediately adjacent to the premise and is located on public property. It's approximately 200 square feet with seating for 18 customers. It will be operated seasonally from April to October and will until 9:30 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and 10:30 p.m. Friday and Saturday. As part of this application process and the process related to the COVID protocols, this proposal has been through both neighborhood associations and received their support. And we've been through this community process and heard not only not heard any negative feedback, but also received their support in this process. In applying to make this patio permanent, the licensee is trying to meet the needs of his customers who want and have come to enjoy over the last 4 years a meal and a drink on this patio. We want to thank you for hearing this application today and are happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thanks, Attorney Miller. I don't have any questions at all. Commissioner Curran and Commissioner Saxon?
I have no questions. Thank you.
None for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. Madam Chair, members of the board, this is Laura Toledano from Consul Flynn's office. Consul Flynn would like to go on record in support of this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Calling item 9, UMNV 205 to 207 Newbury LLC, doing business as Central Perk, located at 205 to 207 Newbury Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages license has petitioned to change the classification of its license to wines, malt beverages, and liqueurs pursuant to the authority contained in Chapter 481 of the Acts of 1993. Attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Good morning again, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board. Dennis Quilty, attorney representing the applicant. With me this morning, Phil Colicchio, and Aaron Constable, who's the manager of record. This is an application to add the cordials to the existing malt and wine license. This unfortunately should have been done when the license was first applied for, and it fell through the cracks, and we're here to hopefully be able to add this back on, or add this onto the license. In the original go around, we met with NABB. We had dealt with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. We went back for this application. NAB agreed with us that we indeed had asked for it at the front end and never applied for it properly. So we're here to basically ask that you now allow that. As far as we know, licensee is in operation, quite popular on Newbury Street, and this will add to the customer enjoyment, we hope, without any negative impact on the community. And again, we're happy to take your questions here today.
Thank you, Attorney Quilty. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Cronin, Commissioner Saxon.
Commissioner Carney.
No questions for me, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Carney, any questions from you?
I do not know.
Great, thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Can confirm our office is unaware of any concerns at this time, and the applicant has been in contact with the local civic. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thanks, Connor.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item 10, Thailand International Corporation doing business as House of Siam, located at 542 Columbus Avenue in Roxbury. Holder of a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages license has petitioned to change the classification of its license to wines, malt beverages, and liqueurs pursuant to the authority contained in Chapter 481 of the Acts of 1993. Attorney Kwong Nguyen. Attorney Nguyen.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman and members of the board. My name is Kung Nguyen, 572 Freeport Street, Dorchester, Massachusetts. On behalf of the applicant, Kwanchat Wangjiang Tip, commonly referred to as Kai. I have Kai with me here. So this is like the previous application. It's just adding cordials to the license. We've had this license, I think, over 20 years. Yeah. And it's just, to meet the changing needs of the neighborhood. We've been through the neighborhood association. We've met with them, and we've reached out to the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, we're not aware of any concerns or anything, so we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. How long have you been at this location?
I think since 98. 1997. Oh, 1997, excuse me.
Oh, wow,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. I don't have any questions, actually. Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Saxon?
No questions for me, thank you.
No questions for me, thanks.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Our office can confirm that the applicant was in touch with the local civic association. Claremont supported this proposal, and we heard from many neighbors that they are good neighbors and a good part of the community. With that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Calling item number 11, TGI Fridays, Inc., doing business as TGI Fridays, located at 1 Brigham Circle. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Sugarloaf Hospitality, LLC, doing business as TGI Fridays at the same location. Melanie Boudreau, manager, 1 a.m. closing hour. Updating the description of premise as follows. Ground level restaurant of the 1 Brigham Circle building, approximately 6,056 square feet. Consists of 2 rooms with a kitchen, prep, and storage area in the rear, and an outdoor patio consisting of 6 tables seating 30 people, and is seasonal from May to September on private property and closes at 9 p.m. Attorney Al DiNapoli. Attorney DiNapoli.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners, Madam Commission. My name is Al DiNapoli. I represent Sugarloaf Hospitality and TGI Fridays. Essentially, this is a transfer of a license to Sugarloaf Hospitality that will continue operating as TGI Fridays. Mr. Ray Blanchette, who is the managing member and the sole shareholder of the LLC, is on with us, as is the manager, Melanie Boudreau. Melanie is the present manager of record. There's no change. This is a multi-unit transfer. There's 6 TGI Fridays that are going to be transferred to Sugarloaf Hospitality. As you may know, because this is a multi-unit, we approached the ABCC first with a application. We used the application for the Methuen store. It was reviewed at the ABCC. The investigator wrote a letter to all the other 5 municipalities indicating that they approved of the transfer, and therefore it's back to the municipalities for their approval. Once that's done, then the ABCC will give its final approval. We have had 4 of the other locations already before hearings and approved. We're here now before the board. We will answer any questions that the board may have at the present time.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for joining us. I don't have any questions at this time. Commissioner Carmen, Commissioner Saxon?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
And you. Calling item number 12, Summer 6 Corporation, doing business as Patios, located at 33A Union Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to CRG License Holdings LLC, doing business as Patios at the same location. Ernestine Rathborn, manager, 2 a.m. closing hour. Attorney Adam Barnosky. Attorney Barnosky.
Thank you, Attorney Green, and good morning again, Madam Chair, members of the board. Adam Barnosky, 255 State Street, Boston. Please excuse the technical issues with the camera this morning. We are here on behalf of CRG License Holdings LLC. Also in attendance is Ernestine Rathborn, the owner of the LLC and the proposed manager of record. We are here regarding a same location license transfer from Summer 6 Corporation, which operated Patios for many years at 33 Union Street in the historic Yankee Publishing Building. Summers is winding down its operation and effectively transferring the license back to the property owner through CRG License Holdings LLC, which is a special purpose entity formed for the sole purpose of holding the license on a temporary basis while the new restaurant operator is secured. Ms. Rathborn is the sole owner of the building through CRG B Block LLC and the sole owner and manager of the holding company. While she is listed as the manager of record and has been advised of the rules and regulations of the board and the ABCC, it should be noted that the holding company does not intend to activate the license during the course of its ownership. The property owner is actively marketing the space for a new restaurant operator and has enlisted a highly regarded commercial real estate brokerage firm to secure a tenant. It is the intent of the licensee to transfer the license to the successor tenant subject to the requisite community process and the approval of this board and the ABCC. The transfer before you today remains an integral component to ensure the vitality of this prominent location downtown. We hope this will be a speedy process, that the new operator will be timely selected, and that we will again be before the board soon on a new transfer. In the meantime, we will keep the board apprised as to the status of the license and the search for a new tenant at this location. We're happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you, Attorney. And thank you, Ms. Rathborn, for joining us today. Attorney Barnosky, you actually answered most of my questions. I just wanted to make it clear that we want to see these licenses put to good use quickly and that you're doing everything you can to find a new operator. And I understand Ms. Rathborn won't actually be working as a manager of record because it won't be an operator just yet, but you'll be back before us and we'll be able to approve the new tenant and the new operator and manager of record then. Just clarifying that for the record.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. With that, I have no questions. Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Saxon, do you?
I have nothing to add. Thank you.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item 13, Woods L Street Tavern, Inc., doing business as Woods L Street Tavern, located at 658 East 8th Street in South Boston. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Medico L Tavern Street LLC, doing business as L Street Tavern at the same location. Mark Medico manager, 1 a.m. closing hour. Also updating the description of the premise as follows. 1,107 square foot premise consists of one room with a bar running the length of the premises to the left of the entry with 16 seats. The remaining 34 seats are table seating. There is 1 entry and 3 exits. Lastly, the applicant has petitioned to pledge the license to Woods L Street Tavern, Inc. Attorney Carolyn Conway. Attorney Conway?
Thank you, Attorney Green. Good morning. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. This is a corporation transfer of the Venerable L Street Tavern. Mr. Medico, who is a 50% owner of the transferee and also the proposed manager of record, is with me today. This is a strictly corp-to-corp transfer, although there is an updating of the description of the premises. The premises is not changing in any way physically, nor is the operation of the premises. Mr. Medico, who is a citizen and also a resident of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, has been working at the L Street Tavern for over 20 years. So he's more than familiar with the rules and regulations of the board in this particular operation. He's stepping in, he knows everything. We believe that this is going to be as smooth a transaction as possible. We have provided the board with the transactional documents, and you can see that they call for a pledge to the seller, and we're asking the board to approve that. You have all of those documents. As I said, it's strictly a corp-to-corp transfer. We're available to answer any questions you might have. And we're looking forward to operating under the new management.
Thank you, Attorney Conway. Mr. Medico, who's going to ask you the standard manager of record questions. Are you a citizen?
Yes.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes.
Your attorney already described your experience in the food and beverage industry. Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of our board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. And the reason for the pledge?
The seller is taking back the financing for the purchase of it.
Okay. Thank you. I have no other questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
I have no questions.
No questions from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Madam Chair and members of the board, this is Laura from Consul Flynn's office, and he would like to go on record in full support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Calling item number 14, Alston Restaurant Group LLC, located at 458 Western Avenue in Brighton. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to La La Land LLC, doing business as Blondies at the same location. Tyrone DeStasi manager, 2 a.m. closing hour. Also updating the description of premise as follows: 4,456 square feet on 2 floors. On the first floor, in 1 room with bar and table seating for patrons and restrooms in the rear. In the basement and in 2 rooms, bar and table seating for patrons and bathrooms in the front, with kitchen and storage in the rear. Additionally, the applicant has petitioned to pledge the license and inventory to Alston Restaurant Group LLC. Attorney Tom Miller. Attorney Miller.
You again, Secretary Green. Good morning again, Chairwoman Joyce, Commissioners. Tom Miller from McDermott, Quilty, Miller & Hanley in Boston. On behalf of the applicant, La La Land, doing business as Blondies in these applications. I'm joined by Mr. Tyrone DeStasi, one of the owners and the proposed manager of record here. The goal for this group for Blondies is to create a neighborhood restaurant and bar with great food, made with quality ingredients, having great drinks, and creating a fun atmosphere. The team wants this space to become a neighborhood spot or a place where residents can come, relax, and hang out in an interesting, vibrant, and fun space. This is a place where neighborhood folks can come after work for a drink and good bar food, and a spot with a great brunch on the weekends. The menu here is proposed to be a blend of some of the most popular and shareable plate options from some of the other locations that this ownership group operates in the city. namely Pinky's on Newbury Street and Rock and Ryan, the Theater District. As I just mentioned, this group has operates multiple restaurants successfully throughout the city without incident. They have decades of experience combined in the industry. This experience will bring a well-run amenity to the neighborhood that will hopefully become the go-to gathering place for the community in this area. In addition to the pledge of the license here to secure the seller financing, this application for the transfer is at the same location. There are no major renovations planned. The description today was only to update it to more accurately reflect the space. They're only proposing cosmetic updates to refresh it and make it a vibrant and exciting place for the residents to come. The space is, as stated, approximately 4,456 square feet on 2 floors. Proposed total seating of 186. And the applicant is proposing to maintain the 2 a.m. closing hour existing with the current licensee. As I said, I'm joined by Ty DeStasi, the proposed manager. He is currently an approved manager of record by this board. Ty is a U.S. citizen, resident of Boston. He is familiar with the laws of the Commonwealth, rules of the ABCC, and this board for the sale and service of alcohol. He has significant experience in the food and beverage industry, including owning and operating multiple successful restaurants in and around the city without incident. We have worked with ONS to reach out to the community, as I'm sure you will hear. We met with the BAIA, received positive feedback at the meeting, and heard no negative comments. Approval of this application will allow a well-run neighborhood restaurant to continue to serve the Brighton community. We want to thank you for hearing this application today and would be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Attorney Miller. Thank you for joining us, Mr. DeStasi. Attorney, you answered all the questions with that presentation very clearly. At this time, I have no other questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you?
I do not, thank you.
No questions from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify in this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office like to defer to the judgment of this board. Our office is unaware of any concerns at this time. As you heard from the applicant's representation, they were in contact with the local civics in that area. Previously this was a restaurant and bar where there was no issues there, so we don't envision any concerns, but we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 15, Mary Ann's Saloon LLC, doing business as Mary Ann's, located at 4 to 8 Franklin Street. Holder of a general on-premise all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above to Flour and Egg LLC, doing business as SJ's, located at 745 Atlantic Ave. Premise consists of in one large room on ground floor, consisting of various dining areas and bar, kitchen, storage, and restrooms in rear, seasonal April to October outdoor patio on private property, containing 24 seats with a 10 p.m. outdoor closing hour, indoor closing hour 11 p.m. Sarah Hudson, manager. Secondly, the applicant has petitioned to change the license type from a Section 12 general on-premise to a Section 12 restaurant. And lastly, the applicant has petitioned to pledge the license to OPG 745 TRS DE LLC. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Thank you, Secretary Green, and good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Attorney Ryan Gosd on behalf of the licensee. With me this morning as well as Sarah Hudson, who is the owner and proposed manager of record. This is an application for a transfer of an all alcohol license to the proposed new restaurant SJ's at 745 Atlantic Avenue across from South Station, which will be a new full service restaurant with a focus on American comfort food. The space itself consists of approximately 3,400 square feet on the ground floor, comprised of 86 seats indoors and a seasonal outdoor patio and private property with 24 seats. As was read into the record, the hours of operation will be 11 p.m. indoors and 10 p.m. on the patio outside. The restaurant will be owned and operated by Chef Sarah Wade Hudson. This will be her third restaurant in the city, with the others being Sloan's in Alston, as well as the nearby Stillwater in the Leather District, both of which have received extremely positive reviews, and she hopes to bring that same level of service here to SJ's as well. In addition to being the sole owner of the restaurant, she will also be the manager of record, and she is an approved manager of record by this board. In addition to the transfer, there is a pledge of the license as well. To acquire the license, Sarah entered into a promissory note with the landlord, who is partially funding the acquisition price, and the pledge is to act as collateral for that loan. Lastly, there is also a request to change the license type from general on-premise to restaurant, given the seller of the license was a bar operation, and we're obviously requesting the change to restaurant to accommodate the food service component at the restaurant. Prior to coming before you all today, we did conduct extensive community outreach. We've discussed this application with both ONS, 1LD, and the Leather District Neighborhood Association, and have received overwhelming support. But that being said, we're happy to answer any questions that you all might have.
Thank you, Attorney Gazda. I have no questions for Ms. Hudson. I wish you luck in your new endeavor. Commissioner Curran and Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
Questions, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling items 16 and 17, Night Shift Lovejoy LLC, doing business as Night Shift Brewing, located at 1 Lovejoy Wharf. Item 16, the applicant has applied for a 19E Farmer Distillery pouring license to be exercised on the above in one room on one floor, totaling 41 square feet with one entrance and one exit. Manager Michael O'Mara, closing time 2 a.m. This is accompanied by item number 17, a petition to apply for a 19H Wines, Malts, and Distillery combined pouring license to be exercised on the above. Premise to be licensed under General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 19H consists of in one large room on first floor with dining, tap room, bar, kitchen, and bathrooms, break room, and office, with a seasonal April to November outdoor patio on private property, storage in basement, 11,828 square feet total. Michael O'Mara, manager, 2 a.m. closing hour. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Green, Tyler Hensler here representing Night Shift Lovejoy LLC, located at 1 Lovejoy Wharf here in Boston. Joining me today is the proposed manager of record and co-founder of Night Shift, Mike O'Mara. Attorney Green, thank you for putting both of these together because separately they are confusing. But the end goal is Night Shift is looking to add craft spirits and cocktails to the menu at their Lovejoy location. These would be in addition to their current offerings of craft beer, wines, ciders, and assorted seasonal offerings. We have filed and have gotten approved the required applications to accomplish this at both the TTB and ABCC levels. So we are therefore here before the Boston Licensing Board applying for the distillery pouring license to serve these cocktails and an alteration of premise to incorporate the distillery pouring area into our 19H pouring license that covers the rest of the existing tap room. Night Shift has been operating at this location for over 7 years. During this time, they've had many customers request offerings other than beer, people who may not be the biggest beer lovers, but who want the experience and the atmosphere of an authentic tap room. This is especially true when it comes to private events, which the Night Shift Lovejoy space, if you've ever been there, it's perfect for. We point to these many requests as evidence of the public need for such a license at this location. The character and fitness of the applicant is also strong, as they have successfully operated a brewery and winery at this location for 7 years, as well as several other licenses located in Massachusetts since Night Shift's inception in 2012. The manager of record will be Mike O'Mara. He's currently the manager of record on the 19H pouring license at this location. He is a Massachusetts resident, a U.S. citizen. He's familiar with the rules and regulations pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol of this board, the ABCC, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and he has experience in the industry as one of the founders of Night Shift. We have received letters of support from both the West End Civic Association and the Downtown North Association, and have worked with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. The board should have these letters, but if they don't, we'd be happy to forward them. With that, we're happy to take any questions, but thank you for your time.
Thank you, Attorney. Thank you, Mr. O'Mara, for joining us. I don't have any questions at this time. Commissioner Curran and Commissioner Saxon.
I have no questions, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on items 16 and 17, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office like to defer to the judgment of this board. As you heard from the applicant's representation, they reached out to the local civics for that area that were supportive. We're unaware of any concerns at this time. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thanks, Connor.
Thank you. And are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this matter under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Calling item number 18, Italian Express LLC, doing business as Italian Express, located at 336 Sumner Street in East Boston, has applied for a common victual or 7-day all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above. On first floor of building, approximately 851 square feet, with bar seating for 8 patrons and a dining area seating for 22 patrons. Service area, kitchen, and bathroom located in rear, liquor storage in the basement, approximately 851 square feet, and additional storage in the attic, approximately 851 square feet. Annual outdoor patio, weather permitting, on private property, approximately 520 square feet, with seating for 30 patrons. 1 a.m. closing hour inside and a 12 a.m. closing hour outside. Manager James Iannuzzi, closing time 1 a.m. Attorney Maggie Roberts. Attorney Roberts?
Thank you, Attorney Green, and good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Maggie Roberts with Prince Bell on behalf of the applicant, and with me today is Jim Iannuzzi, the proposed owner and manager of record.
Morning.
So, recall, this is a previously operational sit-down restaurant which had a wine, malt, and cordials license and which closed during the pandemic. The prior license was owned by Jim's partner and was sold and transferred to the Alston neighborhood out of necessity due to the pandemic and serious health issues that Jim and her partner were both facing. Because of this, at the time, there was no plans to ever reopen. This is not a situation where the license was sold and Jim and his partner immediately turned around to seek a restricted one. The sale didn't create a windfall for the applicant. The funds were used to wind down the business. Jim is a incredibly well-respected member of East Boston. He in fact obtained over 1,000 signatures on a petition supporting this application, which we will submit to the board today. We also have a letter of support from Representative Madaro, and I believe Senator Edwards is present to testify. With that said, we do believe there is a public need that Italian Express reopen with a full liquor license based on this positive neighborhood feedback and the fact that East Boston is a rapidly growing neighborhood and that there's no sit-down Italian restaurant with a full liquor license in the immediate vicinity. As you said, if a license should become available, we would propose a closing hour of 1 a.m. inside and 12 a.m. on the outdoor patio. Jim is a U.S. citizen. He's familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol. And he is a Massachusetts restaurant with extensive experience in this industry. We previously had a neighborhood meeting with ONS on February 15th, and Jim met with Jeffreys Point Neighborhood Association on February 12th to introduce him to the proposed concept. We realized that they have requested we appear in front of them formally, which we are more than happy to do. But given the pending legislation for a restricted license, we wanted to make sure we came before you today and didn't defer this hearing. But we're of course happy to continue working with the community and Jeffreys Point should the board vote to find public need and grant a license. And with that said, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Attorney Roberts. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Iannuzzi.
Thank you.
You previously had a beer and wine license at this location, and now you're applying for an all alcohol license. What has changed in your concept? Why are you now applying for a different license?
Since we had closed, there've been a number of new restaurants that had opened in the neighborhood, and they all have full licenses. And just to be able to compete with the other businesses, with just a beer and wine, we wouldn't be able to serve what everyone else is getting at these other locations.
Okay, so competition is actually not a factor we could take into consideration. It's more the public need of this type of license in this area.
It's a public need, and 1,100 signatures too over the last 3 days. It just shows to us how these people want us to come back. And
Is your concept changing at all? Are you changing the concept?
well, we're just adding the bar seating, which we didn't have. And not to mention, we've also had 3 TV shows on the Food Network, and we've brought thousands of people throughout the country to East Boston from having those TV shows, including having 2 mayors on 2 of our episodes.
Thank you, Jim. And in addition, the menu is also expanding than what it previously was. So that's a new addition to the concept.
Thank you. We have to ask these questions as these, there's lots of talk, lots of inquiries to the board about where our licenses go, constantly getting calls from reporters as we're watching the legislation move at the State House. So I need to make sure I am comfortable with the fact that there is a public need for this type of license at this location. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
Not at this time. I'll wait for comments. Thank you.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Senator Edwards, I do see your hand is raised. I'd like to ask you to unmute, and you may please provide your testimony.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Senator Edwards. I'm a resident of East Boston. When Italian Express was open, I was a frequent customer of Italian Express, and to see it close during the pandemic, as other restaurants did, was actually very devastating to a lot of us in East Boston. They are a family gathering place. It was one of the few places also where a lot of our LGBTQ family in East Boston felt very comfortable. They have been running this business in forms of businesses, Jim, and especially since the 2000s, early 2000s, if not earlier before then, to watch them grow from a hole in the wall in Orient Heights to a full-on restaurant has been the growth of many people in East Boston. They've grown with the community, and COVID was just devastating to a lot of us. To speak to their concept, because they talked to me at length about what they're trying to do that's different and how they're trying to come back, and I appreciated that conversation. And they talked about the different kinds of drinks and having a bar kind of setting that was different than they just had like several small tables before. Now being able to have a full bar, obviously you need a full liquor license in order to support that. But it will continue to be a more open space where people can continue to gather, plus with outdoor dining being availability, their ability to flourish this time. And I want to speak to that. They're going to be a success. You know, I know people are concerned, you give this license, they gave it away, it didn't work out. They will work out. This will be an asset to our community. They have continued to be. And I also want to speak to their good corporate citizenship. I know that may not be one of the exact points for you, but the amount of people that they, local nonprofits they've donated to, the ability, food that they gave during COVID. I want to be very clear, they fed a lot of people as well, even though unfortunately they lost their business during that time. And I want to also be clear, I was there for their also growth, for their illnesses, and they have been through a lot. So when Attorney Roberts speaks to the fact that the license had to go, as well as the business was winding down, that was a true unfortunate moment. And to see them come back in terms of their health, to see them come back and try to get this restaurant, and also that no doubt more than 1,000 people support them. I'm one of them. And I hope that you will consider allowing them to get in line and get back to doing what they do best. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information on the community process. As you heard from the applicant's representation, ONS hosted a butters meeting this past month. Neighbors who were in attendance were in unanimous support. As they mentioned, there's a very large petition that's circulating, demonstrating a lot of community support there. They met with the Jeffrey Point Civic Association in February as well. We're unaware of any concerns at this time. I'd like to defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
I just have one more comment. Just to clarify, should this license be granted pending the availability, it would remain active for a year. We don't actually have a line. There's no like waiting list. It's just an active license that remains active for a year.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Sebastian Parra from Councilor Coletta's office. At this moment, there is a lot of excitement in the community for this restaurant to come back to our neighborhood. And Councilor Coletta believes this license will have a beneficial impact in East Boston. For these and many other reasons, Councilor Coletta would like to go and support this project. Thank you.
Thank you. I will ask again, are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Thank you. The board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And calling item number 19, Nilkant 957 Inc., doing business as City Smoke Shop located at 957 Commonwealth Ave, has applied for a retail package store wines and malt beverages license to be exercised on the above retail space of approximately 2,526 square feet on one floor, with one entrance and two exits. Beer and wine will be displayed to the left of the dashed line only, and tobacco to be displayed on the right. Manager Nilesh Patel. Closing time 11 p.m. Attorney Andrew Upton. Attorney Upton.
Good morning, everyone. Andrew Upton for the applicant, and with me is Nilesh Patel, owner and proposed manager of record. The character and fitness of this applicant is strong. He has operated this smoke shop for over 5 years at this current location. It is 21 plus to enter. He has had no violation. He has extensive experience in age-restricted products. Mr. Patel has also been approved by your board and the ABCC for a Section 15 all alcohol license as the owner and manager of record at 44 Winter Street in downtown Crossing. So his character, fitness, experience, and qualifications as manager are all strong. At this location, he already has a state-of-the-art point of sale system that checks IDs, as well as closed circuit TV covering every square foot of the premises. We also believe there is a public need for a license of this type at this location. Customers frequently ask for alcohol. It would be an amenity for those looking for age-restricted products. It would be one-stop shopping. The nearest liquor store is close to a half-mile away, and it's inside a supermarket. The proponent has identified an additional sort of market opportunity here. He's in the midst of a large Asian population, and many of his customers have asked for beer and wine, as well as sake. And in fact, we have a petition signed by over 100 people in support of this application that specifically references their desire for sake. Directly across the street, across the 2 lanes of Comm Ave, is the beginning of residential Brookline, a community that is now almost 19% people of Asian, people who identify as Asian. And he feels that's a big segment of the market that he can serve. There are many empty storefronts on this block, and to support a vibrant store like this with alcohol will only enhance his prospects. We can tell you that there will be minimal additional noise, crowds, trash, lighting. This is a store that already exists. The size of the premises will stay exactly the same. We will not sell kegs. We will not sell single beers. We will not sell malt liquor. And we had a mayor's office meeting on December 11th and an ACA meeting on December 20th. There were no substantive objections raised at those meetings or conditions requested. And with that, we're certainly glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, attorney. I did have one question, but you answered it. Would you be willing to put the your commitment not to sell the kegs and singles or malt on the face of the license?
Yes, we would.
Okay. Thank you. And then any expansion beyond the description you described today, you'd have to come back to the board if you want to expand the sales of beer and wine beyond this in the store.
Understood and agreed.
Okay, Commissioner Carona, Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
During the community process, was there any discussion about the challenges of beer and wine sales in this area so close to BU and also Brighton underage, regarding underage?
There were a few comments or questions about that, but the fact that he has operated a 21 plus store that checks every single person's ID every time I feel answered those questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. No questions from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. ONS did host an abutters meeting. There were some attendees who expressed some concerns related to the proximity to other buildings that serve alcohol or sell alcohol, I should say. The applicant did meet with the Alston Civic Association. The ACA chose to defer to the board, the judgment of the board at this time, due to this proposal being well outside of the residential portion of Alston that they oversee. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Oh, Attorney Upton, did you want to say something?
Yeah, just one final comment. Mr. Newman is absolutely correct. I don't know if it was during the Mons meeting or the ACA, but there was one woman who was concerned and asserted that there would be could be a problem because we were so close to another liquor store. She thought we were 300 feet away. But we submitted a Google pin map to the ACA demonstrating that it's actually almost 1,300 feet away, 1278.66, I believe. So a considerable distance, and hopefully we assuage that concern.
Thank you. Anything further from the board on this matter? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Those are all the items before the board this morning. That will adjourn this morning's hearing. The board will vote tomorrow morning at 10. Notice has been posted to the city's website. Thank you all and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.